Probably the one that most people find fascinating and most people like is the story with me and Cal Ripken Jr. and Chris Hoyles. I got to the big leagues, as you guys know, at 21 years old. I had two starts in the minor leagues after I left LSU and went straight to the big leagues. Uh, Skip Bertman called every pitch I ever threw at LSU, and he'd put down Mike Bianco would put down the fingers. Yeah, fastball, I can do that. Curveball, I got one of those. Forkball, yeah, I can do that. Changeup, I got one of those. But I never thought of how to set up hitters. Like whatever the finger put down location, I could just do it. So I get the pro ball 2 months later. I'm in the big leagues, and now you got to call your own game. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to read bats and set up hitters. I've never had to do it before. So you fast forward to early next year, and I'm in the rotation, and I had a rough outing, and Chris Hoyles is a young catcher, and Cal Ripken sticks his head in there. Me and Chris Hoyles are in there drinking a beer after one game, just butting our heads up against the wall, trying to figure out what went wrong and how can we get better at this. And Cal looks in there and he goes, "You boys don't have a clue what you're doing, do you?" And I raised my eye and said, "No, sir, Mr. Ripken, I don't have a clue of what I'm doing. I'll be honest with you." And he said, he pulled up a chair next to us, and he grabbed him a beer, and he popped him open a beer. We were all sitting there drinking a beer, just us three. And he says, "I'll tell you what I'm going to do." He said, "I'm going to start calling every pitch for you from the shortstop position until you guys get it figured out." And I said, hold up. I said, "How are you going to stand out at shortstop and call pitches?" He said, "Don't you worry about that, Ben. I'm going to take care of that with Chris." And what I later found out, Cal would be at the shortstop position, and where he would position his hand on his chest or he would put his glove, it was funny. I'd be looking in for the signal, and I could see Chris Hoyles' eyes, my catcher, and his eyes weren't focused on me. They were focused over this shoulder right here because he looked at Cal. And Cal, wherever Cal put his glove or his hand, is the pitch and the location. So we did this the entire season. And Cal Jr. said this. He said, "I'll do this as long as it stays in this triangle right here. If the manager, if the pitching coach, or anybody else finds out about it, I'm out." I said, "Yes, sir. We're good." Well, all of a sudden, I started having success. We start winning ball games. And we would sit down every night after my game, and we'd crack open a couple beers, and we would talk about the game. "Ben, this is why we pitch Paul Molitor like this in this situation. This is why we pitch Dave Winfield. This is why we pitch Kirby Puckett. This is why we pitch Wade Boggs like this in this situation." I never thought about those things. So that was my learning curve. And for 27 starts that year, he called every pitch I threw, and then we had a class after the game. That was my learning model for it. And then finally, the last 3 or 4 starts of the year, he comes to us before the game. He goes, "You guys are good. You got it figured out now.